Good evening. Thank you for coming to the September 3rd Safety Commission meeting of the City of New Ulm. We'll call this meeting to order. The first order of business is the minutes from the July 2nd, 2020 meeting. Has everybody taken a look at those, and if anybody has any questions or additions? No, we're all good?
No.
If there are no questions or corrections or additions, I'd entertain a motion.
I so move.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes as printed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, old business. First one is city council action. There were various stop signs that were ordered to be installed as recommended. Mr. City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Safety Commission members. Street Department was able to install the stop signs that were subsequently ordered in by the City Council at your recommendation. We have received a couple concerns with the Minnesota Street and Center Street new stop sign with maybe some people running that. I think the police department's worked with a little bit of extra patrol in that area. So other than that, I believe everything else is going as expected at those locations. And if it's okay with you, I'll just jump to 2.2, the crosswalks that we had ordered in as well at 16th, on 16th North at Franklin and Jefferson, with the one, after Street Department staff looked at the one at Jefferson Street, the decision was made to only paint one there because of obstructions and sidewalk to nowhere. So that was the only change from that. Really no comments to share from the City Council from those items.
Very good. Any questions or comments regarding those items? I will say they put that extra stop sign right in the center line on Center in Minnesota. And I think that helped people. I think they were just missing the signs because they aren't used to seeing them there. So that all of a sudden that was something new. So
Yeah, item 3.3. 'Cause I have the Kyle Renicky, the consultant engineer from ISG here,
okay.
to go over the 20th North concept drawings and have some discussion on that item, if that's all right with the commission. If you just want to go through it, Kyle, I'll put the renderings up.
Good evening, Commissioners. Again, like Joe said, I'm Kyle Renicky with ISG, consultant engineer here helping out with this 20th North Street reconstruction project. The location of the project is 20th North Street from Broadway, heading east, northeast, through the curve that follows. Let's see, maybe we can stretch around the corner here onto Front Street, and it connects to Front Street there and ends at 19th North Street as well, or 19th Street North. It is currently in a rural section, so there's no curb and gutter on that street right now. It's just I think about a 22 to 24 foot wide road, one lane in each direction with a gravel shoulder and ditches on both sides. And as part of the city's plan to reconstruct it here, they are, Joe and I know had been involved in coming up with some of the street widths here, that we are going to widen the lanes a little bit. There'll be 12-foot wide lanes in each direction, along with 8-foot parking lanes on both sides. And we'll be adding curb and gutter as part of that section. A little bit just to get on one of them. I think they're all fairly similar here. So the current, like I said, the current condition here is just one lane in each direction. As we kind of see here and here, these are the two drive lanes right now, and then we'll be widening this out for a parking lane, adding curb and gutter. And then on the south side of the road, what I'll call on the south side of the road there, we'll be adding a 6-foot sidewalk to kind of match the rest of the neighborhoods, where we'll have concrete sidewalk along that side to make those pedestrian connections. And then on the north side of the road, There is currently a bituminous trail as part of the loop that kind of runs down the north and east side of Front Street and wraps around the curve of the project, and then we will connect onto, yeah, thanks for flipping back and forth again. Joe's got the tough job here. If we go down a little bit, you can see we've got the existing bituminous trail that runs along the road, and then it turns north out of town up the regional trail right of way. We will be connecting onto that and extending that 10-foot bituminous trail further west over to Broadway to extend that a little bit further through this part of town and make some connections to the rest of the streets and sidewalks. And I'm not sure if there's eventually an ultimate plan to go any further with that too, but extending it through this the corridor right now. Along with this, we'll have some boulevard space for some stormwater retention. Some of that will be utilized for just green space. Some of it will be stormwater retention and treatment, and then possibly a few trees planted in those areas as well. And again, this is just the slightly wider lanes and a little bit wider parking lanes as well, knowing that this is a commercial area. We've got a lot of trucks going through the area, and I know a lot of them use 19th Street North as well, but this is another one that is starting to develop. A number of these lots are filling up here too. So I don't know if there's anything else that you want me to go through or check in on, Joe.
Should be good.
And just to verify, the parking doesn't start until after the curve, if I'm looking
That's
at it?
correct, yeah. So as part of this, we're taking a look at that curve. There's no stop sign at the curve right now. So that is something that we're gonna have a slightly narrower road, starting at 19th Street North. The road will be a little bit narrower down here through the curve, and then we'll widen out as we get onto 20th North so that we can have those sight lines through the curve. There's a lot of driveways in there too, so there's not really as much opportunity for parking either, so it doesn't necessarily need that full width, but we'll still have a shoulder there to have some room for trucks as they're turning around that curve and things like that too.
Great.
I think one other part that we're helping out with just on the project right now is that we're helping just to verify and update the platting of the right-of-way through that area so that everybody knows where the city right-of-way is too. So verifying that, since it's an older platting in there. Yep.
Just some very brief history on this segment is this was originally built by MnDOT as part of a detour route through town back in 2004 when Highway 14 within the city was reconstructed. So it's not, just wasn't built up to current standards and whatnot. So we're got some federal funds to help out with this and have ISG on board with that. So I think main thing we're looking for is kind of your guys' thoughts on this, and if everyone's satisfied with it, just recommend that the preliminary layout's adopted and recommend that to City Council in terms of complete streets and everything of that nature.
Yeah, I really like the extension of the bike or the trail. That's nice. I'm on that trail like 4 or 5 times a week, so that's nice.
Yeah, we kind of figure that that's a way to give more options, kind of being, that's a underutilized segment because there is no pedestrian facilities existing out there right now.
Right. And I know those two dog grooming, they take the bikes down or the dogs onto the trail, so that would be nice for them. Yep.
Yeah, right here.
Yep.
And there are quite a number of people who walk along that road, and it is very dangerous because there's a lot of traffic on that road now.
Yep.
And sometimes people are walking on the edges, and it's a little scary.
Yep.
You gotta pull over into the other lane.
So we are fortunate. We do have 120 feet worth of right of way there, so we do have ample room to accommodate these facilities as well.
Is there a budget on this yet or not?
I guess I can't remember what those numbers are off the top of my head, what the amount of federal funding we have.
I think the project total was about 1.7 million. There already, utilities were done a few years back.
Yep.
Mhm.
So it's really some storm sewer modification and the roadway.
Yep.
Any other questions from the commission?
I guess just one question I would have is I know that wider lanes can cause people to drive a little bit faster. So I'm just wondering about the 12-foot. Do you anticipate that being an issue on this straightaway stretch?
Mr. Chair and Ms. Grebner, this is a state aid route, and with being on a state aid route, we have state aid standards we have to
Okay.
abide by, and the 12-foot standard
Okay.
is kind of, for the 30-mile-an-hour speed, that's the standard that we have to go by.
Okay, great, thank you.
Along, and that includes parking lanes as well, so.
Any other questions? Okay. You would need recommendation.
I think just a motion to recommend this to the city council, that it meets the, if you feel it meets the complete streets policy and is a preliminary layout that you'd like to proceed with, that would work for me.
Oh, I got it written down here. Make a motion that we recommend to the city council this project does meet the complete streets policy.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Thanks for calling.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
Very good. Mr. Stadheim, would you want to go back to new business 3.1? Is that the plan?
Yes, Mr. Chair, that would be
Okay.
fine, yes. So I received the email correspondence from Pam Crambier at 515 North Washington Street. Her and her husband are both have disability stickers for their vehicles and kind of have a hard time moving around. And what led to the request is when school's in session at Newax, there's a lot of vehicles that park on North Washington Street in the vicinity of her home. And she inquired about getting either a handicap parking stall signed on the street, or I suggested to her that we look at doing a permit parking space. Just because, you know, if somebody, some other motorist has a sticker, they could park in that spot, and then it doesn't serve her what our intent would be. We have done the permit parking before on South Payne Street by Jefferson and the middle school. I believe it's between 3rd and 4th South. So bringing that to you today, her email is attached as part of the agenda, if you had a chance to review that. So I would suggest you open it up for discussion with the commission.
I drove by there the other day and looked, where would they be, have they indicated where they'd like the sign put?
Not specifically, but I believe just looking at the property, I can throw up the overhead photo here too.
I've, at where their driveway is, and that's where I was thinking that it'd just be to the north of their driveway would be a good location.
Yes, I would agree with you, Commissioner.
That would keep the parking spot on their property.
Well, they were concerned because at times people would park and actually kind of block their driveway.
Right,
That would open it up for that.
right. Are there any other questions regarding this item?
I would agree with them that parking has to be really hard for them during the school year. That's always full.
And as long, we haven't had any issues with the ones on Payne Street?
Not to my knowledge. The way that kind of works is the homeowners or applicant in this case would go work with the parking enforcement at the police department, after the street department where to get the sign installed and get all that paperwork figured out how they want to handle that.
Great.
So I'm not aware of any complaints from South Payne Street, the setup we have down there.
Then I'd be willing to make a motion to approve their permit-only parking space in front of their home at 515 North Washington.
Thank you.
I would second the motion.
Motion is made and been seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, Ms. Grevner, would your motion be to recommend City Council approve this?
Yeah,
All
to
right.
move to the city council.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
Just want to clarify that.
Step.
Yep.
Okay. With that correction,
Yes.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and then that brings us to item 3.2, the 2021 capital improvement plan.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Commission members, the 2021 CIP plan was included within your packet. I guess a couple different ways. How do you want me to proceed? Do you want me to go through 2021 first and all the data associated with that? Or would you rather see all 3 years first and then the 2021 data? I guess it's kind of up to you how I present this.
Does anyone have a preference? Whatever works best for
Okay,
you.
I think I will go through 2021 and all the maps and things like that, and then we'll jump to 22 and 23. Well, that's going to be a little hard to read, but we'll go kind of through the list here a little bit. I'm proposing for the 2021 CIP number of streets and alley segments for reconstruction. We'll just go through them one by one. Jefferson Street from 7th North to 12th North would be a complete roadway and utility reconstruction project. As it pertains to the Safety Commission, we'd be updating the pedestrian ramps at every intersection to meet current ADA standards. Washington Street from 4th North to 5th North Street, very similar to Jefferson Street. As it pertains to the Safety Commission, we would do the ADA ramps at the intersections, and we are planning to do curb extensions on the east side of the intersection of 5th North. Just the one single set, so it'd be 2 curb extensions to help with that pedestrian traffic to Newax.
East side, is that closer to Broadway?
Correct,
Okay.
closer to
I
Broadway.
always get
Yep, the
those
school
confused.
side.
School, okay.
School side, yep. Provided that we can make all the grades and storm sewer things work, which I think we should be able to accommodate. Next one on the list is a State Street, 16th South to 17th South, and that's strictly just a utility extension project, and we'll go back. It's currently a non-improved right-of-way area. Next one is Maplewood Drive from Redbud Road to Ryan Road. This is up near MR's mining operations at the dead end of Maplewood Drive. So we would provide that linking roadway segment and extend sidewalks in that corridor as well. 20th North Street tree clearing, that pertains to the 2022 20th North project that we just discussed. Being that we have federal funds attached to that project, there's strict requirements when it comes to removing trees due to bats and nesting bats and things like that. So to avoid any environmental delay, because we can only take the trees down during certain parts of the year, we will take those trees out as part of this project, so it's done and over with. We have 2 alleys for reconstruction, alley block 189 and 191 north of center. Those are alley segments that have served their useful life. They're 35 plus years old. The old alley sections were pretty weak as far as structure is concerned. Really no items on that would pertain to the Safety Commission. The outfall repair is repairing some damaged infrastructure, and the concrete sidewalks and ADA improvements are updating the pedestrian ramps associated with the 2021 surface reconstruction project. The 2021 MSAS improvement project is a project led by Brown County. Best way to present this. Might have to do this sideways here, so bear with me. So Brown County is looking at extending CSA 13 from the north city limits. So out here, Minnesota River's out here, the Boisman Bridge continues out this way. This is North Broadway, so the street department garage is back here, and Casey Road is right here. This is the existing boundary street, and the new connection would be at the intersection of North Highland Avenue and CSA 29, right there. So the county is proposing an urban roadway section beginning at the newly aligned North Broadway up to the intersection of the new intersection at CSA 29. associated with that project, we will look at sidewalk and trail extensions and street lighting. If anyone's driven that segment, you know it's very narrow driving lanes, heavily used. It's on the bike route, so I feel it's improvements that are needed and will serve our community very well. Like I said, that's a county-led project, and the city will be participating in the cost for the sidewalks and trails and the street lighting. Those are considered what we consider upgrade items that normally wouldn't be in the county project. So it's definitely going to change traffic flow out in that area. It provides a direct link for CSAH 13 to continue on North Highland Avenue all the way to Center Street intersection, so that route will be the new CSAH 13. So any questions on that?
Well, that will be paved, I'm assuming?
Yep.
I'm really glad to hear this because I do the whole 13-mile bike route at least once a week, and that part is always the scariest.
I agree with you, yep.
So,
Especially when you're pulling a trailer with kids, it's not that fun. Yeah.
Will they be putting any warning lights on the railroad crossing?
oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, good question. That is slated to be done sometime, it was supposed to be done sometime this year. We do have federal funding for that.
Good.
So there'll be lights and, lights and gates at the railroad crossing.
Gates too?
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, that's about a $300,000 project, So if no questions on that, want me to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Surface reconstruction project, we have 12 blocks slated, 3rd North Street, Garden to Washington, 8th North Street, Franklin to Washington, 18th North from Broadway to State, 20th North from Highway 14 to North Broadway over the tracks there, and then Franklin Street from 17th North up to the highway. And then looking at our pedestrian ramp inventory map and condition map, would be the associated ramps that are in need of reconstruction with those projects. The 2021 MnDOT project is a signal replacement project at 16th North Street. Slide that up a little bit. So MnDOT is proposing to reconstruct the traffic signal at that intersection and then do ADA improvements as well. The city portion of that project will be half of that traffic signal.
Could I interrupt quickly? Do you know when they would decide like the timing of that traffic
Good
signal?
question. MnDOT programs, as far as pedestrians are concerned, they program a 7-second lead in all the signals in town.
Okay.
So if someone pushes the pedestrian button, the pedestrian has 7 free seconds of all red time on the other legs of that. So
Thank you.
I had to reach out to them to ask that question because Cindy was wondering that as well. So I called the MnDOT traffic signal person, and that's just their standard kind of in this district.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. The 2021 Brown County project is a possible mill and overlay of 10th South Street, which is actually CSAH 26, and the portion of Summit Avenue from 10th to the State Park entrance. That project is contingent on the county receiving State Park road funds. There would be no city cost in that. And associated with that project would be ADA ramp improvements as well, similar to Center Street this year. And last but not least would be the 2021 airport project, which has no safety commission items associated with that, just some parking lot and taxiway reconstruction. So that was the 2021 list. I do have a couple maps to share so we can get the rough areas shown on this. This map is probably relatively new to the Safety Commission. I don't think we presented this before, but this is our pavement condition map as of the end of May. Green is good, yellow is okay, and red is not good. So we made some progress in town. We're slowly getting reds turned to greens, and with the surface reconstruction project that the street department does, we get those yellows turned to green as well. So just more of a FYI map, not that it necessarily pertains, but I thought it would be interesting for you to see that as well. And then here is the 2021 project location map, so, which was included in the packet as well. I think I'll quickly go through the 2022 and 2023 list. So in 2022, preliminarily, this 2022 and 2023 are prelim. Nothing's set in stone. These are what we hope to do, but as other things pop up, our list may change. So it'd be German Street from 7th North to 12th North with complete roadway and underground reconstruction and ADA improvements. Oakwood Avenue from Becker to Milford, roadway reconstruction, select concrete curb and gutter and driveway apron reconstruction. I don't have sidewalk proposed to go up there at this time, due pretty much to project costs and whatnot up there. And then I have a bunch of alleys as well. And in 2022 will be this 20th North Street project from North Broadway to Front Street, and Front Street from 19th to 20th North, as we discussed earlier. And then surface reconstruction project, we will do the associated pedestrian ramps with that as well. So that's, we kind of jump all over the town with the surface reconstruction list. 2023, the big one on this list is Bridge Street from Cottonwood Street to Tower Road. That's going to suck up the majority of the construction funds in that year. That's a very extensive project with underground reconstruction, storm sewer, roadway reconstruction. The street's in pretty tough shape. We will look at doing sidewalk extensions if possible. We only have 60 feet of right-of-way, and we have a very full corridor with utilities there. So if we can fit sidewalk in on one side, we will try our best to do so. But between communication ped boxes and power poles and things like that, it's going to be pretty tough to fit it in, but we'll see what we can come up with at that time. Also in 2023, we have another federal project, which will be North Highland Avenue, mill and overlay project from Oak Street to Highway 14. So associated ADA improvements with that. And also North Broadway from 20th North Street to the new CASA 13. And we'll have ADA improvements with that. And then again, with the surface reconstruction project, we'll kind of be jumping all over town again. I'll throw those two maps up. See the project locations. This is the 2022 map. The project locations are kind of down, but they're the ones that we are doing are a lot bigger price tag. And you'll see that again in the 2023 map with Bridge Street taking up the majority of the funds on that one. So, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, that's a quick go through of the 2021 CIP report. It's still in draft form, and then I'll open it for any discussion or questions you may have.
Any questions, discussion for Mr. Stadtheim?
What's property charge when you do an overlay estimate?
For the mill and overlays or the surface reconstruction?
Mill and overlays.
I don't know yet. That's something I work through kind of now for the next year coming up. So some of that, like North Highland Avenue, I at this time I would assume we probably won't have assessments on that stretch, being that it's we don't have residents or anything there. So North Broadway, we will probably have some sort of assessment, but I'll have to go through that methodology and calculations.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. We would entertain a recommendation for this then, please.
Okay, considering the primary 2021 capital improvement plan as recommended by the city engineer in terms of meeting the complete state process, policy, recommend that we May I make a motion that we recommend to the city council the project does meet complete streets policy?
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Not hearing any?
Just,
All in favor- oh,
got a question. Do we need to do one for each of the years or just,
No, the report is, if we just do it for the report, that'll encompass everything I shared today.
okay.
And again, the 2022 and 2023 are still in pencil at this point.
Okay,
That's fine.
done?
Yep.
right. Okay, so, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. That was our last order of business. Is there any new business that we need to attend to? All right, not hearing any, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Need a motion first.
Oh.
So move.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone, for your attention this evening, and I hope you have a good night, good weekend.
Thanks.
Thanks, commissioners.
Thank you.